For those of you who have investigated my Wattpad page, you have probably noticed that we are nearing the end of our fanfiction journey. We only have 2 left, the one that we're doing today and the super special secret bonus draft that I never posted from 8th grade. More on that later. And So Many Stars in the Sky, which is my other very long, serial fanfic. That one is even longer than He's the Prettiest Boy at the Party. It's gonna take me a hell of a long time to read. It is going to be like an 8-hour video or something. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Once again, more on that later. I'm fully rested. I took my meds. I had coffee. I had breakfast. I had a Cliff Bar on top of that. And I still can't manage to talk good on camera. This is why I need to make videos more often, because like when I do it every few months, it's like I'm just going in cold all over again, and I forget everything I've ever learned in the past. I'm a YouTuber. Man, my little tics and mannerisms and like the way that I laugh at my own jokes really just shows my insecurity on camera. I really want to work on that. If only I practiced more by making more videos. You guys should see the scuffed setup I have right now. It's absolutely awful. I'm using a phone arm that like I broke a while ago, and it's just sort of like floppy, and so I had to stuff it with paper and put it inside of a box with a bunch of stuff on it. Anyways, I'll include a picture, not important. I'm just really raw dogging my setup right now. So if the camera angle moves or the lighting is inconsistent or whatever, I have less than 1,000 subs. Who's gonna care? You care about content, and I'm here to deliver the content. So the first of the stories we're going to be looking at today is the second in the little duo of frerard one-shots that I had, the first of which was the first fanfic video I recorded on this channel when my hair looked like that and my voice was just starting to drop. Can you believe I've been on tea for 1.5 years? I say in like the fruitiest way possible. Like, can you believe? So, this is titled Frerard Fluffy Stuff. I love standing up and doing this. I feel like I'm teaching. Looking like the English teacher who's high-key banging the history teacher. Frerard Fluffy Stuff. Posted April 26, 2015. Almost 10 years ago. I'm ancient. I'm decrepit. I'm rotting before your very eyes. With only 316 reads. Good sign. Commercial. Commercial. Hannah Montana. Commercial. Frank flipped through the channels, bored as hell. He was slouched over on the couch in ripped up sweatpants and an old shirt with a pizza box on the floor at his feet. The way I phrase that makes it sound like the pizza box at his feet was part of the outfit. His boyfriend had ditched him for the night to hang out with his brother and a few others, and Frank was alone. The pizza tasted stale to the 25-year-old. Alright, so we've got an age, and this time they aren't in high school. Oh my gosh, this is so out of character for me. I was really trying things. I was getting out of my comfort zone. I'm almost the same age as Frank in this fanfic. Oh god, I probably thought that like 25 was like pushing 30, you know, in my little adolescent brain. The pizza tasted stale to the 25-year-old. Something stirred inside of him. He knew that Gerard had the right to hang out with his friends, but whenever he left, a cold sliver of ice cracked in his heart, and his suspicions rose. We love an anxious, attached boyfriend. Frank thought of himself as a jobless fuck who wasted his life playing guitar and writing dumb songs. Yet for some reason, Gerard decided to stay with him after they shared their first drunken kiss in a closet at a party. They were in the closet. What? Okay. We don't know yet how old they were when they met and got together. If a mid-20s person is playing 7 Minutes in Heaven, then, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's cute. But sometimes he felt like he wasn't good enough for the comic book writer. He was drop-dead hot, a crazy good artist, a creative writer, and he had the voice of an angel. Oh my gosh, she sounds just like me. Remember when I said I was gonna finish that comic like by the end of this past year? That was really funny of me. He was drop-dead gorgeous, he was drop-dead hot, a crazy good artist, a creative writer, and had the voice of an angel. Anyone would be lucky to have him. And that's why Frank was always a little concerned. I mean, Frank thought, he's a perfect man with lemon yellow hair. It's Lemon Gerard. We've got Lemon Gerard, finally.
In other news,
we haven't had him yet. Oh my god. He's a perfect man with lemon yellow hair, a good body, and a really big. Frank heard the front door open and footsteps creak through. He sat up from his place on the couch. Realizing his hair was crazy ruffled, he tried to fix it, but his boyfriend was already in the room, holding a single dark red rose. Gerard smiled warmly, looking casual but nice in a sweater with a polka dot collared shirt underneath. Hi, Frankie. That's not how he would greet him, like, hi, Frankie. My gayness is coming through. Gerard smiled warmly, looking casual but nice in a sweater with a polka dot collared shirt underneath. Hi, Frankie. Trying not to look overjoyed that Gerard was home, Frank replied, and why are you so late? I ordered a pizza for us. It's cold now. Well, Mikey and Kristen and the others had a lot to share. Plans for the wedding, cute stories, you know. I'm sad you didn't want to come out with us, though. I think when I wrote this, it was like soon after Mikey and his now wife, Kristen, were engaged. I was there. On Instagram, that is. I'm pretty sure Mikey was wearing one of those fuck-ass snapbacks. Frank sighed. I didn't want to feel like a third wheel, or in this case, a sixth. Gerard approached the younger man, setting the rose down on the table and pulling him into a hug. I would have included you. How could I not have included you? He spoke into his neck, his soft lips tickling Frank's skin. I bet I can make up for it if you give me a chance. Fuck him, Frank thought. Fuck him. Literally and metaphorically. He always knew just what to do to make Frank give in. Gerard wrapped his arms around Frank's waist slowly, playing with the hem and tugging on it. The younger of the two pulled away slightly to grab the older and drag him into their room. Jesus Christ. The younger, the older. Like, I used, like, the younger man in, like, the last paragraph. I'm just using it again. Descriptor so nice, I used it twice. The younger of the two pulled away slightly to grab the older and drag him to their room. Gerard giggled and wobbled, slightly drunk, to their shared space. The older sat down first and smiled up at Frank. This is like the 5th time in a row that I've used the older or the younger. Ooh, baby. I thought you were good in English class. The older sat down first and smiled up at Frank, his mouth open slightly with his tongue poking through. Frank couldn't contain himself any longer. He sat on Gerard's lap and their lips collided. He tasted like raspberries. The soft and sensitive lips he'd kissed so many times felt new again, and Frank damn near went mad. He broke the kiss for merely a second so he could take off his shirt, exposing a few more tattoos. Gerard did the same, removing his sweater, then letting Frank unbutton his dress shirt. He managed to remove that with barely any problems. Gerard's lips moved their way down Frank's neck, stopping at the tattoo of a scorpion. Don't you dare, Frank said, not as powerfully as he would have liked, but Gerard just smiled into his neck and began to suck and bite. Frank uttered, I am so gonna get you for this, and pulled away just enough so he could pin Gerard down to the bed. I'm gonna give you the biggest hickey you've ever seen, just you wait. There's no way in hell you're covering this one up for your meeting tomorrow. Gerard rolled his eyes and began to tell his boyfriend that he's being dumb, but Frank already had his lips on Gerard's tattooless neck. He made a little sound as Frank bit harder, sliding out of his sweatpants. Girl, calm down. You're not dying. Chill. I think my computer's getting a little hot and bothered by all this hot action. Frank, Gerard mumbled. I'm sorry, I drank a little too much and I'm tired. Can we just sleep? I promise I'll make up for it tomorrow. Frank sat up, admiring the decent-sized hickey on his boyfriend's neck, and smiled. Of course, darling. My work here is done anyway. I love the inclusion of the word darling. I was a major Owl City fan. I still listen to his old stuff a lot. So, you know, of course, my biggest fantasy was, like, a partner calling me darling back then. Gerard rolled his eyes. Thanks for fucking up my meeting before it even starts, he said, getting under the covers with Frank. Frank smiled and cupped Gerard's cheek. How did I ever become lucky enough to get drunk and kiss you back in high school? Okay. We have context now. They were playing 7 Minutes in Heaven in high school. That makes a lot more sense. But damn, they've been together a long time. How did I ever become lucky enough to get drunk and kiss you back in high school? The magic of alcohol And also, I had a pretty big crush on you in the first place. Frank sat up. You had a crush on me before we kissed? I feel like that would have come up at some point in the, 8 years between. But I guess not. Gerard laughed. How could I not? You were the mysterious and sexy Frank Iero who never put down his guitar. But you were cool. You had 1 million friends and everyone liked you. You could have gotten anyone you wanted and probably still could. Gerard sat up and smiled at Frank. But I wanted you, dummy, and I still do. Nothing's gonna change that. Their lips met for a moment. I love you, Frank whispered. Gerard replied, I love you too. Okay, so thanks to Desolation Lovers and some frerard fluff stories I've been reading tonight, I feel sappy and lonely. And what do I do when I feel sappy and lonely? You're reading it. Sorry this isn't good. I was sappy, not careful. Many such cases. Have a lovely day, Killjoys. Sidonia. Oh my gosh. Okay. I might cut this part out. I may not. We'll see. But I mean, as I said in the author's note, when I was writing this, I was feeling sappy and lonely. And this was wish fulfillment. Entirely wish fulfillment. Fuck, dude. I don't want to reveal, too many personal details on, my romantic life, but, I'm currently in the happiest relationship of my life, and it bears a lot of resemblance to this. I mean, I like to think I'm not as much of, a jealous sad sack as Frank is in the beginning of this, kind of a little bit of why is Gerard out when he could be at home with me? I'm not like that, but many parts of this bear a resemblance to my current very happy relationship. And it makes me so happy that little baby Sid writing this shit probably at 3 a.m., not being able to sleep because they were feeling sad and lonely and gay. One day, they were gonna be in a relationship that's even better than this. I'm telling you, never kill yourself. It actually does get better. You can be gay and in love. Love is real, by the way. Alright, let's get on to the comments. I don't know what this means. H's loudly on the first commercial bit. On the Hannah Montana line, someone said, when I was 6, I used to be so fucking obsessed with that show. I remember crying because I thought the show was over. It was a season finale. On the fuck him, Frank thought, someone said, but the fluff? Don't worry, reader. There is fluff, and not, well, are hickeys fluff if they don't lead to sex? Side note, there was one time when I was young, I was 16 or 17, and I was at a family gathering with a family that's friends with my parents, and I had a hickey on my neck, and I was wearing a button up, and I thought I was hiding it pretty well. I thought I was about to get off scot-clean, and then my brother told the mom of the other family, hey, Sid has a hickey. And the mom of the other family tackled me and was like, where is it? Where is it? And I was like, it's right here. She's like, those lead to sex. And unless you're ready to talk about sex, you're not ready for hickeys. She full on tackled me onto the couch trying to find this hickey. I thought I was gonna make it out alive. I didn't. Have I told this story before? If I have, then you're hearing it again. Congratulations. On the, but I wanted you, dummy, someone commented, #dumb-dummy, which resurrected a memory. I'm almost certain that Frank had a series of posts on Instagram where it was using objects in the wrong way, and it's with the #dumb-dummy. I think one of them was he had a lobster hat on. I don't remember. Damn, that was all the comments. There are not many comments. Alright, that's the end of that frerard one-shot. Honestly, Like, okay. Why is this kind of like the healthiest one-shot that I've written so far? Or like the healthiest frerard story I've written so far? Like, I mean, the whole like jealousy thing at the beginning, I would count it as just like a character flaw. Like, it doesn't really play into the story that much. It's just Frank grumbling and being a little bit jealous about like Gerard going out. But like, I don't love the whole like Frank kind of guilt tripping Gerard a little bit about like, you know, I didn't want to go because I would feel like a third wheel, or in this case, a sixth. And Gerard's like, I would have included you. Like, you know, lightly toxic, could be considered a character flaw, even though it doesn't really get resolved by the end. But it's not really, I mean, after, you know, he's like, I can make up for it if you give me a chance, like, it just goes into, like, cute, you know, cuddling, hickeys, make out, whatever. So it's not really, like, it's not the worst. We have had worse. We have seen worse from me. So this, like, and that's really the only, like, you know, iffy kind of thing. Like, even when, you know, like, they seem like they're gonna have sex, like, you know, Gerard's like, I bet I can make it up to you. And, like, you know, it sort of seems like they're gonna have sex, but then Gerard is like, hey, actually, I drank a little too much. Do you mind if we, like, wait on this? And, like, Frank is like, totally. My work here is done anyway. Like, that's awesome. I love that. Like, oh my god, it's healthy. We've reached healthy. I feel insane. I actually do really like this one. Like, I mean, duh, because, you know, it kind of reminds me of my current relationship. But yeah, I kind of stand by this one. And it's not like the worst written ever. It's alright. It's alright. Hell yeah. Howdy. You know it's me. You know it's Editing Sid. Back to fix the past mistakes. Because recording me doesn't use their brain. Ever. Not once. Never once. And so, editing me has to pick up the slack. Yes, I am recording this in a windstorm. Sorry. I am, in fact, a friend of Dorothy. So yeah, I'm here to apologize. I'm always apologizing. I'm like the king of YouTube apologies that nobody really asked for, but I'm gonna apologize anyway. So I recorded this in January, and then I didn't edit it until recently for a number of reasons. I recorded it in January, and then I, you know, during winter break, and then I went abroad to visit my partner and to see Dan and Phil. I'll see if I can include some pictures of us in our amazing iconic shirts. Me and my partner are gonna see the Dan and Phil Terrible Influence tour, and I did make us matching shirts for no good reason. I just wanted to. It does say I went to the Dan and Phil Terrible Influence tour and got totally tit-faced with my lesbian boyfriend. These took me so long to make, and honestly, worth it. Also, in the little break between filming and releasing this video, I made my drag debut, finally. My drag name is Adrian Kerr, which, you know, if you say it fast, it sounds like a drinker. And I made my debut to American Idiot by Green Day. And it went really, really well. I'm surprised at how well it went. I'll include a clip here. Hopefully copyright won't take me out. So yeah, I recorded it in January. I went abroad. I saw Dan and Phil. Got back, was busy with school again. And then my darling, beautiful laptop, her battery finally died. It was a long time coming. You know, she's from 2017, which is longer ago than I wish sometimes. So yeah, I had to wait about a month to get the battery replaced. And then I was able to start editing again. And then while I was editing, I was like, oh, I didn't phrase some things right. I have some very exciting news. For those of you who have been following my channel for the past year or so, or however long it's been, year and a half, you'll know that I am trans, and I finally have a date for top surgery. I'm gonna be having top surgery in May, which is fucking crazy. I can't believe it. And while I do have like pretty good insurance, all things considered, I don't have a lot of money, and I am gonna need like $2,000 or something for it. So I have a GoFundMe for my top surgery to help cover like the last $2,000 that I need. Link in description to all that. If you just want to like donate a little bit of money, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh my goodness. But if you want to contribute, but want something in return, I also have commissions open. Oh, I shouldn't be standing because I do gay little poses like this. I have commissions open. I do watercolor portraits of people and pets for $100 a piece. And I also have been doing oil paintings. I'm thinking about listing some of my paintings online and see if anyone wants to buy one. I'm really proud of how far I've come with oil painting. I love it. Oh my god. If you want to read more about my, gender background and history and stuff like that, I've included a little summary of how I got here in my GoFundMe in the description. Anyways, I just wanted to thank you again for hanging with me through all of this, even when I don't hold up my end of the bargain with posting videos. I really appreciate all of your support, even if it's just, watching and leaving a like or whatever. So, thank you. Okay. So, this is an old ass draft. It's not a frerard. But I don't think it's very long, so I figured I would just like worm it in here. Who needs 2 videos? This video would be really short anyway, so you get a science fiction double feature. But anyways, in 8th grade, April 2014, I had an idea for a fan fiction series called Disney Stories If Written by Teens. And basically, it's what it sounds like. The description is like Disney stories if written super stereotypically. From what I remember, it isn't stereotypical the way I wrote it. So I only wrote one, or at least like part of one, I think, based on Beauty and the Beast, because I was in a production of Beauty and the Beast at the time. I played the gay candlestick. And so I was like, I'm gonna rewrite Beauty and the Beast. Howard Ashman has nothing on me. Rest in peace, legend. Disney did not deserve him, but I'm glad he did what he did anyway. He's a fucking legend. Also, the cover art for this is, I'm pretty sure it's a screenshot from the, who did it? Was it Epic Rap Battles of History that did the Disney princess song parodies? Whatever. It's a screenshot from one of those. I'll fix it in post. Side note, but I found the video I made the cover from. I dare you to sit through all 2 minutes and 6 seconds of it. I've never experienced more physical pain watching a video than with this. Anyways, so this is an ancient fucking draft. I'm guessing this was between my first frerard fanfiction and my My Little Pony fanfiction. Alright. Yes, actually. Okay. Hey. I decided to take a break from MLP and do something I had an idea for a while ago. Great job. Disney stories if written by teens. Should be funny. So for the first story, Beauty and the Beast. I know, Belle is a guy in this, but it will be cool. And by the way, these stories are meant to be cheesy. Enjoy. So yeah, this is a gender-swapped Beauty and the Beast. And if my memory serves me right, it's actually pretty subversive in a way. Or at least submersible fanfiction. His name is Bill. Like, I know what I was thinking, because I was having, like, swapping out Belle for a B name with, like, a lot of L's that was one syllable. But Belle in French means beautiful. And I changed it to Bill. All the hottest guys are named Bill. Oh, also, Howard Ashman mentioned, Bill was the hottest guy at his high school. Girls would watch him work out at the gym, and guys would copy his techniques for getting fit. But not everything was great for Bill. Everyone thought he was a strange guy because he was interested in books instead of partying. He read everything from Ender's Game to Roosevelt's biography. While he was adored for his looks, he was an outcast for reading books. It's the random rhyme. Oh, it's so funny. While he was adored for his looks, he was an outcast for reading books. Well, except for... Bill, OMG, I've been looking everywhere for you, Gabrielle said, walking straight for him. Gabrielle has been stalking him since 3rd grade. All the guys had a crush on her. She was pretty with her deep tan and flowing blonde hair. But she only cared about the latest gossip and whether or not someone was paying attention to her. I'm gonna die. This is so funny. Bill sighed heavily and turned towards Gabrielle with a fake smile plastered on his face. Hi, Gabby. Okay, so Bill, I was thinking, what the heck? You're hot, I'm hot. We'd be unstoppable if we went to prom together. She smiled, batting her eyes at him, until she saw the book he was carrying. Suddenly, her smile turned to scowl as she snatched the book from his grasp. What's this? Another one of those lame books? Ugh, Jesus, Bill, you need to get rid of these. Like, I read on the internet the other day that books give you pimples. I can't have my date being a zit face. My rep would be ruined, Gabrielle squealed. This is so good. I fucking love this. I'm a genius. This might be my favorite fanfiction I've ever read on here. Of, like, the entire lot, this might be my favorite. Bill rolled his eyes. Yeah, Gabby, I haven't decided if I'm even going to prom, but thanks for the offer. He grabbed his book back and walked away. Gabrielle went berserk. No description, just she went berserk. Use your imagination to fill in how she went berserk. Did she go, like, full Mean Girls animal montage? Did she go berserk the manga with, like, violence and swords, I think? I haven't read or watched Berserk, I've heard mixed reviews. Choose your own adventure. When Bill walked into his house, he caught his dad packing for a business trip. He traveled a lot for his company. Hey, Dad, Bill greeted. Hi, son. Hello, son. Come have some lentils for dinner.
Hello, son. Come have some lentils for dinner.
That's my favorite Strange Aeons quote. I think about it often. Hi, son. Would you grab my toothbrush and shampoo? His dad answered. Bill grabbed the items requested and walked back to the kitchen. Hey, Dad, can I talk to you? I have problems at school. These guys keep picking on me. Disney Channel has nothing on me. Yeah, okay, maybe when I get back. I'm running late. There's spaghetti in the fridge. Bye. Based on how I read that, he's off on a business trip. Daddy's special business trip. There's spaghetti in the fridge. Bye. His dad ran out the door. Bill sighed and walked to his room. He grabbed his jacket and keys and walked out into the crisp autumn air. It was particularly cold for fall, though, as the car started. Forgot a T at the end. With all this on his mind, he drove mindlessly. It wasn't until he was in a town he didn't recognize that he realized he didn't know how to get back. Bill was no map whiz, and GPSs were confusing and hard to use. I'm so old. Oh my god, I wrote this in a time where, like, car GPSs were the thing. You had to use, like, either one that you plugged into your car, or, like, if you were really fancy, your car had a GPS system and, like, a little screen. And they were kind of crap. This is before Google Maps or Apple Maps or, you know, choose your sexuality. Oh my god, I'm old. I'm sorry. Bill was no map whiz, and GPSs were confusing and hard to use. What's more, the car started sputtering and crawled to a stop. Bill swore and turned off the car. He'd forgotten to get gas again. Releasing a sigh, he pushed the car to the side of the road. Damn, on his own, he's buff. The neighborhood he was in was, well, he does actually work out, so it works. Releasing a sigh, I used a period instead of a comma. Releasing a sigh, he pushed the car to the side of the road. The neighborhood he was in was weird. It was dark out and the old houses looked deserted and creepy. Maybe one of them was home to someone who could give him a ride. Bill walked up to the nearest house. What used to be a tan coat of paint on it was now cracked and soaked in shadow. Ooh, I like that descriptor. A few windows were broken and the house was clearly egged more than once. Bill knocked on the door. Hello? Anyone home? Oh! The door swung open. Inside, the floors were mahogany, wilted flowers sat in vases, and the walls were coated in floral wallpaper. Everything, though, was rotted or cracked. I really need help. I've lost my way and I need some gas, he called into the emptiness. It was a pretty big house. There was a staircase that led upstairs, an unlit ornate chandelier dripped in diamonds from the ceiling, and a grand fireplace was burrowed into the wall. I think I accidentally slipped back into regular Beauty and the Beast for a second here with the dripping diamond chandelier and grand fireplace, given that it was a, you know, egged, crappy house. I mean, I didn't really describe the outside except for, like, the paint and the smashed windows and eggs. I didn't describe it, like, anything about the type of house it was, like if it was a big, grand, abandoned mansion or, you know, a shitty, like, you know, RV motorhome, or not motorhome, mobile home, you know, shack, whatever. So it is kind of alarming to just suddenly have, like, grand chandeliers and giant fireplaces and stuff, so whatever. Cinema sings ding! Bill suddenly stopped, feeling a presence behind him. Turning slowly, he saw a shadow move. Hello? Bill moved slowly towards the moving shadow. Who are you? The owner of this house. So the girl is supposed to have a lisp, and I failed step one with writing out the lisp, because the way I wrote it was, the owner of this house. It never got published. I could have proofread later, but I abandoned this project. So sad, because I love it so far. I'm having a great time. The owner of this house, the shadow answered. It sounded like a girl's voice, but with a wicked lisp. My Maynard came out for a second with the wicked lisp. Would you happen to have some gas? My car's out. No. Then could you give me a ride to my house? Maybe. Then Bill replies, girl, can you please turn on the light? It's darker than Satan's butthole in here. This is the greatest thing I've ever written in my life. I'm sorry. Like, I made Bill a queen for no reason. He's supposed to be a Disney princess. I made him a queen. The shadow turned on the chandelier. In the dim, dusty light stood a short, frizzy, red-haired girl with Coke bottle glasses and braces. Her zit-spotted face had no hint of a smile on it. Has she been reading books? Have I been reading books, given... Ugh. I actually have been reading a book. I've been reading Junji Ito's, like, book on writing horror and, you know, his life and stuff. It's really good. Junji Ito, like, the publisher clearly wanted it to be a really, like, spooky, intense, like, step into the mind of this tortured, haunted genius. Meanwhile, once Junji starts writing, it's just like, anyways, I had a pretty chill life. You know, I had a few weird things happen. Everyone assumes I'm a scientist. I guess I have a sciencey face. I accidentally drew a creepy manager exactly like my actual manager, and I had to apologize to everyone about it. Ooh, almost dropped this. Anyways, Junji Ito's just like the most normal man, and I love him for it. Well, he's not really normal. He's just chill. Like, I want to hang out with him. He just seems like a nice dude. Highly recommend it so far. I'm only like halfway through, but it's good. Anyways, the shadow turned on the chandelier. In the dim, dusty light stood a short, frizzy, red-haired girl with Coke bottle glasses and braces. Her zit-spotted face had no hint of a smile on it. "Why are you here? Have you come to pick on me like the rest?" She took a step backwards. No. I just ran out of gas and need a place to stay. By the way, what town is this?" "Bedford." I guess we needed a town name. Bedford. Bill sighed. Bedford was at least an hour away from his house. "Would it be possible for me to stay here for the night? It's really late and I'm far from home." "Okay. There's a room at the top of the stairs. You can use it. Just don't open the door at the end of the hall. Also, apologies if you can't understand my lispy voice. I'll probably have like subtitles that, you know, are unlisped so that, you know, people with audio processing issues like me can actually understand what's being said. Also, I'm allowed to reclaim a lisp because I have a very small lisp already, and I had to go to speech therapy when I was young. I'm just playing it up though. Just don't open the door at the end of the hall. Why? What's in "It's forbidden"? This is the most camp thing I've ever written. "It's forbidden. You must never set foot in there. Do you understand?" "Okay, girl, calm down. Don't hurt yourself. I'm not going in there." This is the best thing I've ever written. I'm sorry. Like, fuck Beastly. Fuck every other, like, modern reimagining adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. This is the real shit. This deserves to be on Broadway. Fight me. Bill proceeded up the stairs with his backpack slung over... Ugh. Doing that lisp is gonna mess up my speaking for the rest of the video. Oh my god. Bill proceeded up the stairs with his backpack slung over his shoulder. The floor of the hallway was draped in old oriental rugs that were so faded they barely had any color. The doors were old and worn, all except that one at the end of the hall. It was painted in a fresh coat of bright yellow paint. Just about the only new-looking thing in the house. I walked back to the room I was using for the night. The inside of the room looked like it was designed by a blind grandma. Ugly brown curtains hung from rotting wooden rods. Ugly brown curtains hung from rotting wooden rods above the windows. The bed, it was neatly made at least, matched the curtains. The dresser in the corner of the room had a faded, painted flower design Bill could barely see anymore. The bedside table matched the dresser, but had an ugly Victorian lamp rested upon it. Bill walked to the closet. Inside was an old trench coat that had more moth holes than he could count. He closed the... I read ahead a little bit. He closed the closet and rested upon the bed. Out of his black backpack, he pulled a copy of Looking for Alaska by John Green. For no reason. No reason. It's not thematically relevant. I didn't even say who it was by, but I know it was supposed to be Looking for Alaska by John Green because I loved that book. Out of his black backpack, he pulled a copy of Looking for Alaska. Bill read for an hour and then drifted off to sleep. Page break. Bill awoke to cats. Lots of cats. There was one cuddling next to him, one on his neck, and another nestled between his feet. There were more in the room, in the window, on the dresser, etc. He said out loud. Me when I awake to cats. He got up, got dressed, and headed downstairs. 2 cats followed him. One was a golden tabby, the other was a brown shorthair. On the stairs, they wrestled and nipped each other, but ended up grooming one another. I made Cogsworth and Lumiere into cats. I'm a fucking genius. There was a smell wafting from the kitchen, bacon and eggs, Bill's favorite. He followed his nose to where the delicious breakfast promised to be. The mysterious girl was frying bacon in an old pan. She took a spatula and placed two pieces of bacon. Pieces of bacon. The mysterious girl was frying bacon in an... The mysterious girl was frying bacon. Why am I struggling? She took a spatula and placed two pieces of bacon next to a fried egg on a plate. Here, she grunted. And that's the end of that one. I'm so sad because that was my favorite thing I've maybe ever written. Like, that was so camp. It was like 2014 BuzzFeed quiz camp, like millennial camp in a way. The Beast was a crazy cat lady with a strong lisp. Belle was a definitely fucking queer dude who loves fitness and says girl a lot and is kind of bitchy, but in the best way. And the servants in the castle are cats that the Beast owns. I was cooking in 8th grade. And like, you know, the whole premise of it was like, Disney stories written super stereotypically. Like, you know, that's not stereotypical. Not many people would have the Beast be a woman with a speech impediment. And not many people would have Belle, like gender-swapped Belle, be a bitchy queer. Like, that's iconic. Like, they're gonna be in a lavender marriage. Part of me wants to, like, rewrite it and continue writing it, but, like, for what purpose? For who? For what? There's no point. But that's an iconic idea. I'm so sad I never finished it. Real talk, I think Howard Ashman would be proud of my rendition of Beauty and the Beast. He was a queen. He understood. He understood what was up. Howard Ashman shout out. See, I do have a thematically relevant prop in the background. I've been watching a lot of videos on like queer Disney and Disney history and, you know, queer history and media in general from Matt Baum. His videos are incredible. Oh my God. Cannot recommend them enough. Like the one on Howard Ashman and the Disney Renaissance and Little Shop of Horrors changed my life. That may be overstating things, but like it's oh, it's so good. Little Shop of Horrors is my favorite musical in the entire world, and it's just knowing more about Howard Ashman and how much of like a true queer artist he was. It just it blows my mind. I just hope that he's doing good wherever he is in the great beyond, I guess. I don't know what happens after death. I'm sorry if you came to my channel, you know, to get the answer, but I don't have it. But I think Howard Ashman would like my rendition. He would think it's camp. Having Belle be a like gym queen who is always like making quippy remarks that start with girl, and the Beast being a lispy cat girl, well, not really a cat girl, but like crazy cat lady type beat. And then Gaston being a bitchy popular girl who thinks that books give you zits. I was cooking. Someone give me a book deal or a movie deal or like a Broadway play. I definitely have the chops to handle any and all of those things. Okay, so in closing this video, I have a few things that I wanted to talk about. First of all, about that last video in the fanfiction series. It's gonna be So Many Stars in the Sky, the longest fanfiction on my page. It's gonna be a doozy to record. Maybe I'll like record it early May and then like edit it while I'm recovering from top surgery. I don't know. But I'm also gonna be trying to figure out a way to use that as sort of like a fundraising type of video, even though I don't think I can do that officially through my YouTube channel because I don't have enough subscribers or whatever. But you know, I hopefully want to use that, you know, what's going to be a marathon of a video to help raise money for my top surgery, you know, using the GoFundMe and, you know, whatever. Details to come on how exactly that'll work. It might just end up being I post the video and then first link in the description is my top surgery GoFundMe, and like, you know, periodically in the video I'm like, please donate. And since that'll be the last in the fanfiction series, let's talk a little bit about what might come next. Because, you know, this will be the end of my fanfiction stash. So I need new content. And luckily, I do have a lot of ideas. A lot of them are like media analysis, social commentary. I could go through my old Instagram, the one that was called MCR Died, that had like 15 to 18K at its peak, that I posted way too much on. I could go through that, you know, my banned fan page. Longtime viewers of the channel will know that I talked a big game about an Ace Attorney video early on. I really want to finish that at some point. I need to figure out how to trim it down, because I started going into like deep research about like the anime industry in Japan and like how anime funding works and like the process, like the chain of command in a production. And I was gonna have like illustrations of, you know, I was gonna have a mock court case where like, you know, different factors in like, you know, anime mismanagement sort of like are put on trial. I was gonna do closet cosplays of like Phoenix and Gumshoe and Edgeworth. I need to trim that idea down if it ever wants to see the light of day. I'm insane. But yeah, other ideas include like, I could read a Splitting of the Mind. It would have to, I wouldn't be able to do like what I do with these videos where I read it like line by line. I would probably be like summarizing certain plot points and, you know, everything like that, so that I'm not just regurgitating someone else's work verbatim. I wouldn't feel good about that. But it would be really cool to revisit it and like, you know, talk about it, because that fanfiction changed my brain chemistry, I think. For social commentary, I was kind of thinking about like making a video on how Barbie definitely made a lot of little girls gay. There was a lot of controversy in the media, like in the 2000s, early 2010s, etc., about how like SpongeBob was making little boys gay because SpongeBob is like emotional or like fun and soft. And they were like, that's making little boys gay. I won't let my kids watch it. Meanwhile, Barbie was like selling life-size dolls for little girls to ballroom dance with. And I'm like, I think that did something to me more. Though, I mean, I am basically what you would get if you put SpongeBob and Barbie into a blender and then like put it in public school. I also have a video essay in mind that I really want to write it, because I have so many things to say about the 2016 Rocky Horror Picture Show remake. I have so many thoughts and feelings that are conflicting and complicated, and I have theories. So that could happen as well. If any of these ideas pique your interest, please comment down below. I would love to hear what you want to see from me in the future. I have had a really fun time doing these fan fiction videos, but unfortunately, they are going to be coming to a close soon. All right. I believe that's going to do it for me today. I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Comment down below what you're doing. Are you drawing? Are you staring off into space? Are you contemplating death and how our hell world is helling right now? I'm dying. But I do love hearing like what people are doing while watching my videos, because, you know, obviously you're doing something else while you're listening. I do it too, don't worry. Check out my GoFundMe for top surgery, link below. I really appreciate it. If you can't donate, or, you know, you want something in return, look at my commissions, also link below. Feel free to do whatever, or if you can't afford to donate, that's okay. Sharing my GoFundMe is also an option if you want. I would really appreciate it. If not, that's okay. I'm not your mom. I'm not holding a gun to your head, but I appreciate whatever you do. But anyways, that's it for today. I hope you have a lovely day. Comment, subscribe, ding the bell, comment, and like and subscribe and comment and like. I'm doing my gay hands. No one should let me stand up because I get real fruity with it. Anyways, have a lovely day, Killjoys.